Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week I'm going to be talking a little bit about motivation and running through the winter, with the added complication that the UK has recently gone into a second lockdown, as have multiple other countries across Europe and across the world. I've been receiving quite a lot of messages asking about motivation and keeping active and keeping positive in these times, and I think running has a kind of special way of helping people feel both connected and positive in themselves, and so I think it's really important that people are able to use running as a kind of tool and mechanism to keep positive and keep happy, and of course keep healthy and fit as well. I have not been running for a huge amount of my life, but if you are interested in hearing my running story, I do have a vlog on it that you can watch here. But in the times that I have been running, I have noticed a massive improvement in my mental health, and I think a lot of people have found the same thing. Throughout lockdown number one, a lot of people took up running, and I got so many messages from people who maybe they'd never run before and they ran to the end of their road, or they took up running and they achieved their first 5k through a Couch to 5k program, or they did a lockdown marathon in their garden. The amount of innovation that people were doing in the first lockdown and since then was just mind-blowing, and honestly when I was reading the messages I found it really motivational myself, and it definitely got me out there a few times when I really felt like it was the last thing that I wanted to do. Hopefully I can share a little bit of motivation with you on this vlog, and of course I'll be taking you along for a run with me too. This week's sponsor, very excitingly, is Strava, and you guys have probably heard me talk about Strava before. I have been using Strava for a very long time, and what it is a platform whereby runners can connect with other runners and also record their runs. So if you've got a sports watch, you can connect your sports watch to upload automatically to Strava, or if you don't have one and mine doesn't connect with Strava, you can directly upload runs onto Strava from your phone as well. So it can basically record where you're running, how fast you're going, all the different stats. I am a total data nerd. I really enjoy data and geeking out over numbers, and it definitely provides a lot of that for me. They've actually given me a couple of really interesting points here about people keeping motivated and supporting each other, athletes supporting other athletes, and I'm going to read some of the points out now because I actually found them really interesting. First point, athletes uploading 3 activities a week instead of 2 tend to be more consistent, resulting in 2 times more activities over the year. So just doing 1 extra activity a week actually tends to make you more consistent. Over 1 million athletes joined their June 2020 5k running challenge, and I know a lot of different people were taking up running in lockdown, so I think that's one of the great ones that is achievable for everyone, but also just nice for everyone to see, to just kind of set themselves a goal and to give it a go. Solidarity, which was one of Strava's challenges, so they set challenges for their athletes. It helped nearly 1 million athletes stay connected and motivated during the pandemic. For every minute an athlete spends on the app, that's a lot of minutes for me, they spend 50 minutes being active. 94% of Strava subscribers who set a goal remain active 9 months later. Pretty good. I can say, I think I've been using it for about 4 years now, and I can say I am very much active 4 years later. An independent study of 8,000 runners on Strava found that being part of the Strava community made 2/3 of them happier, more motivated, and improved their self-confidence. Okay, so those are some fun little stats for why to download Strava, but really they've actually challenged me to help you guys out with the Last of the Light challenge. As we move into darker days, finding the motivation to get outside, especially if you've got long hours of a job and it is dark in the morning and the evening, it can be difficult. But what Strava have done, they are trying to encourage people to log at least 12 hours of activity during the month of November. For many people this might be easy. For a lot of people though, getting the motivation to get up and get out is quite difficult, and so what Strava have done is if you sign up, you can sign up for the challenge on Strava itself. There are so many different ways of staying motivated for your running or your cycling or whatever it is, and you don't have to just be running. Honestly, Strava have so many different activities, so whether you do run or you walk or you cycle, I mean if you're on here I assume you're running, but there are so many different things as well that you can be doing and that you can be logging on Strava, then it just provides an extra bit of motivation to get out there even when it's just feeling a little bit dark and dreary outside. And if you haven't watched my vlog on how to run in the rain yet, go and give that a watch. Hopefully that will provide you some help as well if you're not entirely sure and if you haven't done a winter of running yet. Now, one of my favourite ways of keeping motivated when I run is to find new routes, and I do have a habit of doing the same routes over and over again because I know what my 5k route is, I know what my 6k route is, I know what my 8k route is, my 10k, my 12k, even my 20k route. I have particular routes that I do for each of those distances. But one of the things that actually, if I'm lacking a little bit of motivation, is to create a new route. And Strava does an amazing job of inspiring you to find new routes. And if you are a subscriber, you can type in your location or the location that you want to set off in, type in whether you want it to be hilly, if you want it to be flat, if you want it to be paved, or if you want it to be a trail run. For me it would be a hilly trail run because no flat trail runs exist around here, unfortunately. It will give you a route suggestion depending on your things that you've put in, and I find that really good. I mean, it's what I used also for finding the route that I did the half marathon through our amazing Jurassic Coast jungle that I did a vlog on as well, so do go check that out if you are intrigued. I didn't do that from home, so I put in the location that I wanted to start at and then set up that I wanted to do 21 kilometers, and it gave me lots of different suggestions for a route, and I chose one that I thought looked the most interesting through that incredible trail.
This is the UK, everyone.
And honestly, it was one of the best runs I've ever done. And if I didn't have that suggestion for the route, I probably wouldn't have felt confident to go and give it a go because I don't know every route around here. I don't necessarily want to get lost or end up doing 20k when I was only supposed to be doing 10. And having the route mapper can be really helpful for that. Another thing that Strava has is segments. And anyone who already uses Strava will know a lot about these because there's a little bit of competition around who can get the quickest segment, who can do the segment the most amount of times. I am very proud to say I am a local legend on some of the segments around here, and I do question whether anyone actually runs them other than me, but it's always nice and a little bit motivating to have that ding on my phone that says you're now local legend of this little segment, or someone's taken away your local legend status of this other segment, or someone's gone faster than you. And in terms of motivation for someone who's a little bit competitive, it is very, very helpful for me. So if you are looking for a bit of motivation, do sign up to Strava, do subscribe. There are so many different subscriber perks, and I didn't subscribe for the first 2 years, I just had the free version, but the subscriber perks were incredible for me, and they helped me also assess sort of how fit I am in comparison to a different point of the year as well. There are so many different things that you can do with it. And then sign up for their Last of the Light challenge. 12 hours might seem easy to you, or it might seem a bit of a stretch, but just having that goal can encourage you to get out, and that's exactly what I'm going to go and do now because the sun is shining outside and I want to go make the most of it.
It is freezing outside, although it's a beautiful day. And I am wearing Columbia top. It's got a little silver lining on the inside, so it's quite warm. Some Sweaty Betty very old leggings, 2xU visor because it is sunny. And I'm testing out these shoes from a brand called Hilo. They are officially the most sustainable running shoe, and I have never worn them outside for good reason because they're very bright white, and I wanted to give them a test, see how they perform, because obviously sustainability is all well and good, but if it doesn't perform like a running shoe should, then it has a bit of a way to go. So I was kindly gifted these, but they haven't sponsored me or asked me to do anything. I just really kind of want them to do well because I feel like we're in need of some more sustainable shoes, because there's a big problem about what to do with running shoes after they kind of break down, because they are made up from lots and lots of different materials, and that means that they're very hard to recycle and very hard to reuse in any way. So creating them like this, they are obviously biodegradable, they don't have any plastic in at all, unlike most of running shoes, but as I said, they have to perform well to be worth buying. They're about 100 quid, so kind of similar range to the kind of higher end running shoes. So anyway, I'm going to give them a go. I have found a new route thanks to Strava, so I'm going to test that out. It is about 6k, but chances are I'll get lost, so you can set Strava to kind of tell you where to go, but I'm actually just going to try and remember it, figure it out along the way, but we'll see how that goes. So I just set off. It is absolutely freezing. I can't get over it. It's like 10 degrees, which I'm afraid I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's cold. It's cold for the UK at this time of year, and also I'm the worst with cold weather, so it feels especially cold for my poor little weakling body. But it's nice to be out. Actually, I've been working all day and haven't left the house yet, so it's good to get out and get a run in. Shoes feel good so far. They're a little bit harder than my usual shoes, so they don't have so much cushioning at the bottom. But actually, I think I need that a little bit more than I used to, because my striding is a little bit better. And I find cushioning allows me to be a little bit worse with my running form. I don't know, maybe it'd be useful for me to have something that has a little bit less cushioning. So far so good, but I've only done like half a kilometre so far. On today's run, I'm listening to the High Low podcast. I like to listen to podcasts and runs because it basically semi-takes my mind off the fact that I'm running. And while I love listening to music, I do find that it dictates my pace a little bit more than it should. So I might go faster when I'm listening to something really upbeat. And if I'm actually just trying to do a chilled run, that's not very helpful. But I do use music kind of tactically if I'm doing like an interval session or something very intense, especially at the gym and stuff. But yeah, for the most part I listen to podcasts, and you can see my favourite podcast on a vlog that I've got called My Top Podcast or something. And I've also got a blog post on my favourite podcast as well, so go and check that out. One thing that keeps me motivated when I run is knowing that I'm doing it for a purpose. So it's really difficult at the moment, like I said earlier, about, you know, having lost all our races and stuff. It can feel like you don't have a reason to run, but well, there are loads of different things. Like for me, for example, knowing that I've got to film a vlog, believe it or not, does get me out. And also getting excited about trying something new. So whether it's a new kit or a new route that you found, a new technique, for example. I was talking earlier this year a lot about nose breathing, and it's something that I found really tough, but I'm actually really pleased because a lot of you guys have messaged and said that you first tried it after seeing my vlog with my coach earlier this year, and you gave it a go and it massively helped your running. And I think several of you messaged saying you got your 5k PBs or mile PBs or, you know, 10k PBs doing nose breathing for the first time ever, which is incredible. I have to say, I definitely didn't get that when I first tried it, but something like that to aim towards can make you feel like you've got a reason, a purpose to be getting out. Same with having a training routine. You know, if you know that you're going to do a set number of runs per week, that can encourage you to get out and get them done, because you don't have to think about it. You don't have to try and convince yourself to go and do it. Also, I'm very goal oriented, so the fact that I know that this activity will take me halfway through the Last of the Light Strava challenge makes me feel much more motivated to get it done and to spend a good amount of time outside. Even if you don't get an actual medal for it, having that sort of achievement ticked off is really, I don't know, I guess it goes for the dopamine reward centers in your brain. Even if I know the mechanism that it's working through, I still feel really happy that I got it done. So yeah, the fact that I'm going to get 6 hours in the month of November by, you know, the end of the first week makes me very happy. Oh, it's such a nice day. I'm so happy I came out. I was really umming and ahhing because I was already absolutely freezing just hanging out inside. But now that I'm out, I'm actually quite warm for the first time this week, which is nice. How lucky are we to have weather like this? At the moment, it's like nearly mid-November, well, I guess early November, and it's beautifully sunny. The next thing that I do if I'm not really feeling motivated to go out is just remove all expectations, remove all pressure on myself to do any particular distance or any particular speed. I haven't looked at my watch or my phone once on this little run so far, and I feel much better for it, and I'm not going to beat myself up when I get back and realise that it's probably slower than I usually do. Having said that, quite a lot, if I don't look at my phone or my watch, I realise I'm actually going faster than I thought I was, and that's just sort of a happy bonus when and if that happens. If you are struggling for motivation, just set yourself the goal to get to a particular spot, you know, whether that's the end of your road or just down the next block, or, you know, a park somewhere, and then tell yourself you don't want to run after that point. You can stop, you can walk, and go back home. And this isn't, believe it or not, some sort of motivational vlog to get you out running. It's a vlog to get you to listen to your body, and I think at times like this, where we're all quite stressed, it's quite easy to get wrapped up in what we feel that we should be doing to alleviate the stress or alleviate the guilt or whatever you're feeling. While running can be an amazing thing for your body and your mind, it's also quite stressful for the body. And if your running is wrapped up in feelings of guilt and should do this, should go that far, should go that fast, then that's not going to be helpful for you, and that's not going to be good for your brain, and it might not even be good for your body, because running produces cortisol, or releases cortisol, which is your body's stress hormone, and that can affect your sleep, it can affect your cravings for particular foods, it can affect your mood, it can affect everything to do with your physiology. And so yeah, don't go out for a run if that's not what you feel like you have to do or you want to do. Walks are very good for you, great form of cardio without the pressure of a run. Yoga's good. I personally hate yoga, but I feel like I should be doing more of it. Even just things like going out into the garden if you have one, or your local park, and just sort of sitting, obviously wrap up warm, sitting, smelling the trees, staring at the greenery. That is so good for your mind, so good for your body. So yeah, it doesn't have to be running, but whatever it is, do it. Get outside, get out of your everyday life, and just do something just for your mind, just for you, whatever it is. I'm loving this route so far. Strava has done a good job. Really beautiful. I am now 5k in and just sort of turning around to head back. Unfortunately, every time I get to this point in a run, I know that the rest of the way back is uphill, and I just start to dread it. If I'm on a long run, I might stop about 1 kilometre from home and walk back the last bit to stretch, decompress, chill out a little bit. But alas, that would take me like 20% of this run, so not going to do that. Gonna run the whole hill back and just do it slowly. I've definitely got a lot better at hill running since coming back to Dorset, but it's definitely still not something I'd say I thoroughly enjoy. But afterwards I feel very good because I've done a lot of the same routes around here and the same Strava segments and stuff, and each time I do them, not each time, but every few months, I know that I get a little bit better, and that's definitely very, very motivating to see. And so it begins. Hill, 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 all the way up. Might not look like much, but it definitely feels it. One hill done, one hill to go. One thing that always gets me up the hills, albeit quite slowly, is focusing on my breathing, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about nose breathing. It's massively helped, and obviously when I'm talking I can't nose breathe. I have to breathe through my mouth, but when I'm going up a hill I just focus on breathing in 3, breathing out 2, and 3 and 2 equal my strides. So in 3 strides, out 2 strides. If I'm going slowly, it's probably in 3 strides, out 3 strides. And if I'm going very quickly, it's in 2 strides, out 2 strides. And that rhythm just helps take my mind off, you know, slogging up the hill. And it's something I've really only got the hang of this year, and it might not mean that I can do the hills that quickly, but it means that I'm less likely to stop halfway up, which is something that I definitely struggled with in the past, especially coming from London where there aren't that many hills to begin with. Run done, and I feel much better for it actually. Been a bit anxious recently for many very obvious reasons, but running is honestly the one constant, one of the few constants that almost always makes me feel better. And check out this place to end a run. Whoa-wee. It's not bad, is it? Braving taking the white shoes off-road just to experience this evening sun. Check that out. Oh, don't mind the smashed screen, just ignore that. But otherwise, little route and testing out high-low shoes and vlogging. And I've completed 50% of the Last of the Light challenge. Thank you, Strava. That makes me feel very happy. Look, I've got all my different challenges at the top here. And that is going to keep me motivated through November as it gets darker and darker and darker and horrible. But yeah, I've done a couple of things. It's all just pictures of my feet, unfortunately, and muddy legs. Verdict on the shoes. They're very comfortable, very light, very beautiful. Hopefully still after this gander into the muddy field, but I have to say I have a tiny little niggle in my calf, and I don't know if that's just because I'm tired or have been running weirdly, or just because this was a very roady run. I might just keep them for shorter runs because, of course, you know, we're all different, we all run differently, and we don't necessarily all need the same shoes, so maybe they're not right for my style of running. I will test them out again some other time just to make sure, but I think for now I might keep them for sort of everyday wear and gym wear, not the gym's open, and shorter runs as well, because they are extremely comfortable, which I'm very impressed about, because a lot of running shoes have sort of weird bits that are supposed to be supportive but end up being like blister making. But I don't know, I'm impressed with them, but they might not be the right thing for me because I'm used to a lot of cushion, as I was saying earlier, but maybe I'll strengthen myself and actually kind of grow into them, but I'm not going to push it because obviously I don't want to injure myself. Okay, that is it for this week's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and feel a little bit of motivation to go out there and move in whatever way is right for you, whether that is running or anything else. You know, I go on about running a lot because it's what helps me personally, and since you're on my channel I assume it also helps you, but for a lot of people it might be something different. But whatever it is, just get out, get moving, get stretching, move your body, feels good. Don't just stare at your computer and phone screens all day, because that is not the way to feel good. I can tell you that from personal experience. I am obviously back from my run. I'm about to run a bath. I have just stuck on a billion layers because it is so cold and already really dark. I have a feeling I'm going to be filming more and more vlogs in the semi-darkness. Oh wait, hang on. Have a look at my jumper. How cool is that? It was my boyfriend's jumper from Fat Face Kids? Yes, Fat Face Kids, yes. Needless to say, it doesn't fit him anymore, but it does fit me, so I wear it all the time, but he did break it in the armpit, which is sad. Anyway, I'm gonna go and have a bath because I'm very cold, and I always talk about treating yourself when you're back from a run and having something to look forward to, and for me that is a very hot cup of tea and a very hot bath with lots of bath salts in it. So I'm gonna go and do that now. Don't forget to check out Strava. There is a free version, or you can get the subscription, which I have and I love, and I really do enjoy it. I mean, you can probably tell by A, the amount that I talk about it, and B, the amount of time that I've been using it and sharing it on YouTube and Instagram and all the other things. And speaking of Instagram, if you did enjoy this vlog, come and check out my Instagram. I post a lot more running content on there. Obviously there are no more extreme challenges coming up, but who knows, because there will probably be a lot of virtual challenges in lockdown 2.0, and I intend to partake in a few after a couple of weeks of kind of resting a little bit, because I can definitely still feel the effects of my ultras and the cycling challenge. My quads still hurt from the cycling challenge, which is ridiculous. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please do share it with your friends. Hit the subscribe button, of course, because there's a vlog every single week, or almost every week if I remember. And of course there will be loads more content coming your way. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!